I was just sitting in my bed writing, and then also I was going through some stuff at the time too. So it
Mhm.
kind of like worked itself out. I kind of like forced myself to write it, even though it was stuff I didn't want to say. I didn't want to. It's kind of hard to like admit something like that to yourself, much less put it into a song. All right,
Oh, there we go.
my bad. It was on the wrong thing on my preamp.
Oh, no, no worries, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate the 15-minute grace period, man.
Oh, dude, no worries. No worries at all. Hopefully you're all right. And I think they said you had to go to the doctor or something.
Yeah, it's all good though. It's because I honestly I scheduled an appointment after this
Oh,
interview, but that was when I thought this interview was at 8:30. I don't know why. I thought it was at 8:30.
oh, no worries, dude. Totally cool. I appreciate you being here. I'm excited to chat with you.
Yeah, hell yeah, me too, man.
Awesome, awesome. Well, my name is Adam, and this podcast is about you, your journey in music, and of course, we'll talk about the new song that you have out.
Sweet. I love talking about myself and my music. So
Perfect, perfect. This will be perfectly easy for you then. Sweet. So, talk to me. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Kansas City, Missouri,
Okay.
actually. And yeah, a lot of people get that confused with, you know, Kansas City, Kansas, but there's like two of them. So I'm the I'm the Missouri one,
You're
right?
from the Kansas City, Missouri side.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
What was it
There's
like growing up there?
it was pretty cool. It's I went to the school called Lincoln Prep, and it's a very culturally diverse school. A lot of like even like famous jazz musicians went there, like Charlie Parker, who I'm named after, and like Kevin
Oh, rad.
Mahogany and everything like that. Yeah, it's like a very big city on jazz, a lot of jazz clubs and barbecue as well. So that's sick too.
That's amazing. Wow.
Just
So
like
you're
a little
named after
Midwest.
Charlie. Yeah, you're named after Charlie Parker then?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am.
Wow. His music must be huge in your household.
Yeah, definitely is. Both of my parents are band directors. My dad was actually like my jazz band teacher and everything. So
Really? Whoa.
mm,
Okay. So both that you must have been just thrown right into music then.
yeah, low key. I didn't really have much of a choice, to be honest. But
So what did you start off playing? What was the first instrument you got put it on?
first thing was piano.
Okay.
And then they made me play trumpet, which now I love and everything. I put like in all my songs. Um, but yeah, those are like my main my main two.
Okay. So piano and then trumpet. And with
Yeah.
that, like how old are you when you start playing piano?
Oh, I was like second grade is when I started taking like actual lessons instead of just like my dad teaching me.
Okay.
So I don't know how old you are in second grade. I was like 10, probably.
Yeah, like, maybe a little younger, but that yeah, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So but well, real quick, both your parents are band leaders, you said? Do they lead like big orchestras in town or like
Now
what do you mean by
they're both
that?
teachers.
Oh, they're
Actually,
both teachers.
yeah, my
Wow.
mom teaches like middle school band, and my dad does. Well, he just retired from the high school me and my sister
Mhm.
went to, but now he's about to be an orchestra director, not just band, an orchestra. So he's gonna be solely an orchestra director somewhere else for middle school and high school, I believe.
That's amazing. Wow. So you
Yeah,
were put obviously in jazz band as a kid, and then
yeah.
how was it like going to school with your dad as the teacher? Was that
Oh, that's a great question. No, it's cool. I got a ride to school and stuff, but that ride happened to be like 2 hours before school started,
Oh,
which sucked. And then he's a very he's a funny guy at my expense. So it's just a lot of being made fun of in class. But
really?
uh,
Okay. So he
yeah.
leaned into the fact that he was your dad.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. He thought it was funny. And I guess looking back now, yeah, it's funny. But like back then I was like, bruh, he really
Yeah.
he
That's
called me
fun.
out.
Oh, really?
Hmm. It was
Wow.
fun
And you
though.
played trumpet in that band or in the jazz band?
Yeah, jazz band, and then like like wind ensembles and orchestra sometimes and all that. That was like my main. And then I played it through college as well. Didn't finish college yet, but for the majority of it.
Sure. Well, it looks like your music career is already like up and running. So
Yeah, it's kind of going there anyway. So
sure, sure. Where were you going to school? In Missouri?
yeah, I was going to school in Missouri. It I just went to a cheaper one that had music technology and stuff because I wanted to get into like producing. I
Hmm.
mean, actually, I've always wanted to be like an artist. I knew what I wanted to do since I was like 11, you know?
Really?
Yeah. So it's like basically over half my life. Um, but now it's so, but I went there because I was like, my parents' education's important to them and
Sure.
all that. So I was like, oh, I gotta. Sorry, my cat's just like speeding around the room. He got the zoomies right now.
Oh, all good.
But
I've
yeah,
seen some
I
photos of him on your Instagram, I think.
yeah, his name's Chance. I named him after Chance the Rapper.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, so but basically back to the college thing. Yeah, I went to University of Central Missouri. I didn't quite finish it, but I was like a semester or two away, which I'll
Okay.
get there.
You can always go back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, facts.
Wow. Well, when you said you knew what you wanted to do, you wanted to be an artist. You knew that from like age 11. What
Yeah.
was it? Was there something that like sparked that interest, or did you want to be doing like what you're kind of doing now, or was it like you want to be a jazz musician, or like was that kind of the route you wanted to take?
Honestly, I was never like, oh, I want to be a jazz trumpet player or anything like that. Honestly, like didn't like the trumpet for a minute because I was like, oh, this I'm being forced to do this. I don't want to do
Oh,
it.
sure.
But like I was always just writing songs. And my favorite part of like piano lessons was when she would let me, compose my own stuff. And I would like record on like some old cassette recorder that my parents had and all that until eventually like I started like really getting into like rap music and I was like, oh, I want to rap. Like I want to be a rapper and stuff like that. So I started leaning into that heavily and recording on old USB mics that my parents had from like college when they
Hmm.
had to if they I don't know if they had USB mic. Maybe it was early teaching or something. It was like an old USB mic
Right.
that I started recording on and like, a computer that was like built with like spare parts and everything. So learning all that on like free programs like Audacity and everything.
Uh-huh.
So I was just kind of like going in on all of that stuff. And then that led into, I don't know, throughout like middle school, high school, just rapping. I started like getting more into like singing. And then through college, like it was really when I started getting into singing. And now it's like I'm basically like a pop writer, right?
Hmm.
Who with like a hip hop influence at this point and jazz influence. So it's kind of
It's kind
all
of
over the
evolved.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
but
evolved.
yeah, it's just because music is just there's so many cool aspects of it. Like I never used to like country music and now I can appreciate it and like listen to country music and just be like, oh my God, because some of the writing on there is like
Oh,
crazy.
incredible. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just recently moved to Nashville, and I'm from Southern California, from San Diego. And I
Oh,
thought I was
sick.
moving to like a total country town. I'm like, I don't even really know the music. And, I moved here. Not, I mean, sure, there's a ton of country artists here, but there's also artists from all genres. And I never really understood country until I
Mhm.
moved here. And I'm like, wow, like these are some of the best like songwriters there are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
it comes to like lyrics and writing a good song. Because I'm just thinking of like, just the traditional, not traditional, I guess like the very far like pop radio, like trucks and,
Yeah.
Bud Light and, whatever. Like that wasn't what I was into. And then like I come here and I'm like hearing some of these songs like, whoa, like
Some
this is
crazy stuff.
incredible.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You already know then. Yeah, I went to Nashville for like a riding trip, and that's when I was like, honestly, like I really love Los Angeles right now. Like compared to like, growing up in the Midwest all my life, it was cool, but I feel like Midwest for me feels like, I don't know, default, right? It's just
Mm.
kind of like not boring, but like very regular. Then coming here, it's like crazy, and I'm like still caught up in all like the craziness. Like, I'm young, so I feel like there's gonna be a point in my life where I'm like, yo, this is all right, this is a little too much. um, and then I was thinking about that like when I went to Nashville, I was like, dang, this is like you get music out here and all that, but you could also like kind of chill.
Oh
You
yeah.
get all four
Pace of life is
seasons.
so much slower.
Yeah, so it's wild because like even out here, it's just a lot of like, well, yeah, like you said, pace of life is slower. It's weird because out here, it's just like a lot of people who are like doing a lot, just trying to like pretend to be relaxed. Like it's like a
That's
lot
a
of
great.
stressed out people just trying to like fake it and be like, oh no, I'm by the beach, I'm chilling, but like no, you're not. It's like
No.
it's not like on some New York's like at least in New York, people are like go 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 go, not lying, not like faking it, not lying about it. Like here, it's like no, I'm by the beach. I gotta like, I'm not stressed,
Yeah, I'm
you know?
chill. And it's like, but
Hmm.
meanwhile, like you have to work 50,000 things to live and be chill by the beach.
Yeah, that's facts. You gotta do everything, man. I don't get it.
Oh, that's funny. So were you writing beats and all that when you were 14, 15, when you were starting to write the rap music? Were you writing the beats as well or just pulling them off YouTube?
It all started with like first doing like remixes to songs that I liked.
Oh,
Just like,
okay.
and then it started with like, oh, now I'm getting YouTube beats. And then and that was like for the first couple years. And then I started producing for real, like around like 14, like into middle school, beginning of high school is when I started getting into it.
Hmm.
And then I just kept that up throughout it, and it became less and less production by other, like just by YouTubers and stuff like that, YouTube beat makers, and then more by me. And then until I got to like end of high school, beginning of college, and that's when I was like, oh, this is all me.
Hmm.
But then eventually, you get to a point when it's like, oh, now like you're not just getting beats off YouTube. Now you meet these producers, and now you're working with like crazy. That was like right when COVID happened is when I started like, okay, I'm not just producing everything myself anymore. I met some people, became friends, and like then we start making music together. And it really feels
Oh,
like a community thing, like collaboration online and stuff like that. And that's where it was like, okay, cool. I could learn a lot from these people. It's not just like, because I had it in my head for a minute. I'm like, I don't want anyone else touching my beats. I don't want anyone touch, like that's on me now. Like I had that in my head, like I got to do everything myself.
sure.
But then it's like, dang, when you have a mindset like that, you close yourself off from a lot of like knowledge. Like you can learn a lot of stuff from producers, and that's like my favorite thing. Going into sessions, I've learned a lot more in sessions, I would say, than I probably did in school
Hmm.
for like for specifically what I want to do, right?
Hmm.
Because I still use a lot of the like theory knowledge and everything that I've learned, and even like ear training stuff from school, like every day. I'm not gonna lie about that. Even though like there was like a point where I kind of resented going to college because I was like, no, I want music so bad. But now it's like, nah, I actually use a lot of that stuff. But I'm still like actively learning in every single studio session, asking questions to these people. And it's really fun to like work with. There's a lot of great producers, but not every great producer is like a great sort of like doesn't have that sort of like knowledge of theory, like education based.
Right. Yeah.
So when
You
I
can
meet
speak the
those,
language when it comes to the different parts of the songwriting process. Like, you know, what notes
yeah.
should go with notes, what ones go where. And yeah, I'm sure that
Mhm.
helps immensely in your
It
writing.
does, but it's like not a lot of people like really feel the music rather than like analyze it. And that's like something that I really respect too, because growing up in like where I was just always learning music, it's sometimes hard for me to like step back and like just feel it. But
Mm-hmm.
so it's cool. I get that. I get that kind of like I kind of learn stuff from people who just feel music more than like study it. But then the people who study it, I'm like over here like talking about progressions, like how does this work? How does this work? What's this passing chord? How does this note fit into here? It's not diatonic, like all that stuff. And that's really fun too. So I just like try to ask so many questions. And if you do that, it's like honestly, you get something from every studio session, even if it's not like a crazy song, you still get something,
Hmm.
because like I've like really gone to the point where it's like I do my best writing when I'm just like alone, right? But I make the best songs when I'm with other people. So it's kind of crazy. I usually start something myself,
Hmm.
just like with a guitar, piano, just like something that's all me, just a concept, and then I take it and I go somewhere. So
Oh, so
it's
you'll
like,
have like a demo or a concept, and then when you go meet up with someone else to collaborate on the song, that's when it becomes like
yeah,
next level.
100%. Yeah, it's kind of like homework. I give myself homework because it's like I'm like, oh, I have a session tomorrow. That means tonight, if I don't have something already, I'm coming up with something that I'm taking to that session tomorrow. And it makes me like also get in the mindset of who is the session with, right? Is it
Hmm.
with like a hip hop producer? Is it with a pop producer, a very musical person, a beat maker, right? It's like, and then I take that and I'm like, okay, that I'm gonna keep that in my head when I start writing whatever
Hmm.
I write right now. Even if it's just like a hook, just like a hook and a verse, like it makes everything go by a lot smoother. I'm not just sitting there feeling like, oh, they're waiting on me to come up with something, that sort
Hmm.
of like studio pressure.
Did those doors open up more for you when you started getting, a lot of streams and more success on your end?
Yeah, they definitely did. Like if it wasn't for, I mean, I did this song. First of all, everything was like slowly going up for a
Hmm.
minute. And then even with like TikTok and just my music in general online, but then this Minecraft YouTuber and Twitch streamer reached out because he saw one of my TikToks where I would just like write songs to people's comments. And he's like, yo, I kind of want to get into music. Would you help me? And I was like, bet. We hop in Discord. I got some other producers that I met during COVID and all that. Um, we link up, we make a song, we put it out, and that's what got me a lot of attention, especially from like labels and
Okay.
stuff like that.
And what song was that? I'm just curious because you have a
It
ton of
was
songs there.
called, yeah, it was called Road Trip. So
Okay,
it's
that was the
the
one. Near a billion plays or whatever has like a 95
or like maybe
million
near a
plays.
100
100
million.
million
Yeah.
or yeah, it's some crazy number.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah, he has such a big following. So I'm really blessed that I was able to like, first of all, just meet him, but second of all, like work with him, write the song and feature on it. That was
Mhm.
super fun too.
That's awesome. So you started off, you said with is where for your TikTok was just like writing songs based on people's comments
Yeah, well, even before
or
that, like my TikTok really started because there was this TikTok account at the time. I mean, now they don't really just make TikToks, but it was this TikTok account called Live To, right? Live to Create.
Mhm.
And their big thing was like showcasing all these crazy artists that nobody knows about.
Sure.
And so I DM them my song. And then a month later, they get back to me. They was like, oh, sorry, I just checked the DMs. We love this song. We're about to make a video to it right now. They made a video to it that they put on YouTube, but then they also made a TikTok out of it. He's like, all right, I'm about to post this TikTok. And at the time, like their account was like everything they would post was like going crazy, right?
Mhm.
So they were like, you should make a TikTok account. And I had one, but like I didn't really get it. Like it wasn't really for with music at all. It was just like some stupid stuff.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, okay. So I like deleted everything and I like edited a whole like, hi, I'm PmBata. This is my TikTok channel. Follow me for the journey or whatever, right? And then he posted his TikTok about my song. Then I posted mine, and then all the people from there came to mine, and then boom, stuff just started like shooting up. I was like, oh my god, what's happening? Then I made like a whole like series, like I'm gonna try to make a viral song in a week, and that didn't happen, but
Uh-huh.
that got me like I don't know, like 200,000
People.
followers.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah, just like
gosh.
looking for that whole week, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm famous now. Oh, this is weird. This is weird. And like people were recognizing me in the city just for my little series that I was doing, which I was making a skit about making a song every single day, which was literally took my entire day. Every single day, it took my entire day. I didn't eat. I didn't eat because I was like filming with my friends and then editing and all that. I was like, what the? And the song was already
Yeah.
made beforehand, so that was lucky. But
But still,
yeah,
I mean, that's how much work goes into just doing social media. I mean, like that's people think that it's like, oh, he just has to go on his phone for 35 seconds a day and go blah 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 or whatever. And it's like, no, those videos don't
nah,
land like the one, and you have to keep pushing content, keep going and going and going, or it's like no one will care anymore, right? I
right.
mean,
Right. And everybody I know for real, like that puts out like it comes from them. Like they edit it, they film it. Like the biggest artists that are signed to like the biggest labels that I'm friends with is like they're still doing it all themselves. Like they got to come up with
mhm.
ideas because that's how they started and that's how the label wants them to keep doing it. Right. Like
Right,
that's what
because it'll
works.
change, right? The tone of the videos would change, the style could change if somebody else is doing it. It's not coming
Right.
off of what you're doing or whoever it
100%.
is.
Yeah, that's why it's but crazy thing is like when that Live 2 stuff happened, like, I that got me more attention like on
What was
TikTok. I
the
was like,
song with
okay.
Live 2?
So it wasn't actually the song that they showcased was Nobody Came to My Party.
Okay, that was that
Um,
one.
yeah, that was Nobody
Okay.
Came to My Party. So I was like a minute ago.
But you had
Um,
two records before that, or an EP and an album, right? With the museum before that, and
yeah,
808 Facades came out. And those just like things that you were putting out, like as you were
yeah,
trying to
100%.
do the artist project? Like it didn't turn like the turning point was when the Minecraft video happened.
Well, there's like a lot of weird turning points. If you go
Okay.
back like far enough, like I used to do rap contests like online, submit them, and like it's just like so many small things that just start
Okay.
building up. Like I remember I got like top 17 on one of them, which wasn't it was just like there's a lot of submissions, and then like I would do rap contests with my friends, and then we just keep going up, placing a little higher. And then
Oh,
eventually I got to like college, and then this YouTube channel called Promoting Sounds started posting my music a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's crazy because like I had
yeah.
friends that were like, "Wait, this is you?" on there because they listened to their account already on YouTube, and then
That's
that was
cool.
beginning. Yeah, that was it was crazy for me at the time. I was like screaming because it was I had like for real nothing. That was like freshman year
No, I love to hear these stories. That's amazing. Okay, so real quick, so this is freshman year of high school. This is
of
happening.
college. This
Oh,
is
of
freshman year of
college.
college.
Okay,
Yes,
but
yeah,
still, I mean, wow, that must have been huge. And
it
so your
was.
friends are like, oh my gosh, like this is you. Like what?
yeah, that was crazy to me. And then, I put out the next album that like I was like producing in the studios, like at my college and stuff that I had access to. And then from there, it goes to, I think the next big thing was like kind of like COVID. Well, I got managers and like I started meeting like up with like this producer named Brian Kennedy, just like learning more about the industry because he's from Kansas City as well, the brother of one of my managers and everything. And then COVID happened, right? The middle
Mhm.
of sophomore year. I had all this music. Like I was like, okay, I kind of like found my sound at that point, at least the foundation of what my sound became. And then TikTok and Live 2 happened. That kind of blew me up a little bit. I started meeting other artists in like this thing collective at the time called 404, just like, 404 Vincent, Rosie, like these other artists that
Oh,
were
I
like,
know Rosie. Yeah,
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 popping off in like the Fortnite scene and
yeah.
everything.
He did that video with the dudes from the Phase House, or yeah, Hype House or Phase
Oh,
House.
Phase, yeah,
Yeah,
Phase,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They're in the
They're in the
the video
video.
for
Yeah,
him.
I've interviewed him a few times. He's such a cool dude. I think
Yeah,
he
he's
just got
chill.
married, or he was engaged, recently got
Yeah,
engaged.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a good guy.
He's doing great, man. And so that plus, I met another manager. Then I did a distribution deal with these Fortnite like marketers. So my
Oh
music
wow.
started going up on in that scene. And then from there, the dream stuff happened all of a sudden because I just kept the TikTok like thing going. And then boom, labels start reaching out, distribution companies, and I also signed as a songwriter to APG. So I signed to 300. This was
Uh-huh.
like in 2021, beginning of 2021. I
Okay.
signed as an artist to 300, which is now like also Electra.
Yeah.
And then I signed to APG as a songwriter. Then I came to LA. And then
So
after
you
working
were, when you
for a
signed these
minute,
deals and you were doing that, you were still living in Kansas City?
yeah, all this stuff. Well, actually, I was living in Warrensburg, which is where UCM is. It's like a smaller town right outside of Kansas City. And
Okay.
that was interesting. It was like small town. Like I was like isolated from everything. All I had was the internet for real. It was wild. But and then, I hate her boyfriend's face starts going up just because I keep learning about songwriting and just honestly, ever since I got here, I feel like I became the best musician possible just because I've learned so much.
Mhm.
Like possible like I can keep getting better. You know what I mean? But I've reached my potential in terms of how fast I get. Like this is the fastest I've ever gotten better in my life,
Wow.
if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. Just like how, because now you're around what would be probably the best of the best, right? And so you're
Right.
picking up from them. It's like you always want to be around people that can help elevate. You get better at baseball if you played with all the guys that were much
Right.
better
You
than
already
you, right?
know.
You picked stuff
Yeah.
up faster than
Facts.
if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
were, yeah. So wow. Okay. So this thing starts happening. You start getting these deals, and this all came out of what, the success of maybe the TikTok stuff, and then having these
Mhm.
deals of, with YouTube and the Fortnite, Minecraft, all that stuff. And
Yeah.
then you moved to LA, and is the first time the first song you've put out since living in LA is that I hate her boyfriend's face.
No, the first one, well, I put out favorite song and then I moved to LA.
Okay.
There's like been a few like Too Little Too Late, and 85 I put out
Hmm.
while I was here. But I
Okay.
hate her boyfriend's face was like
Like,
the biggest, like because of
sure.
TikTok and everything.
Okay, so you put that, what, the teaser up on TikTok, which the video is so rad that you did it for TikTok. It's like the silhouette of you like playing
Yeah, that was
guitar at
also
the.
spur of the moment. Like I was like, I just made that song because again, I did the thing, right? That day I had like a session, but the day before that, the night before that, like I was like, damn, I gotta write something for this session. And so I was like, I was just sitting in my bed writing. And then also I was going through some stuff at the time too. So it
Mhm.
kind of like worked itself out. I kind of like forced myself to write it, even though it was stuff I didn't want to say. I didn't want to, it's kind of hard to like admit something like that to yourself, much less put it into a song.
Mhm.
But then I took that to the session with me. We finished it up and then I put it on TikTok. The next day, right? I was like late to like a concert, like a David Hugo with Nikki Yor concert or something like that.
Okay.
I was late to it because I was I was making the little silhouette thing. I was like, I don't even know what possessed me to make that, honestly. Like I don't know why. And I posted it at night, and which I usually don't, and it went up, and who whatever, man. It just happened. Just
Oh my
happened.
gosh. That's so crazy. I mean, to have two like big viral moments like that, right? I mean, because you had the
Yeah.
one huge one in the beginning with that company pushing it out, and then it's like, you know, hundreds. You said a couple 100,000 followers you get like what real fast.
Yeah. And then this next one. And then a lot of I've always gone like mini viral, right?
Uh-huh.
But like with like sometimes with the little comment songs and everything like that. But this last one,
But to have
like
like
was my song, right? I mean, they're all my songs, but it's like one that I want to put out. It's not just like a joke. It's not like somebody else's story. It's like this is me. Like this is my
right,
shit.
yeah,
Like
a vulnerable song, and then like the
mhm.
lyrics and everything. I mean, it's a such a cool song, and
I
the
appreciate
fact
it.
that
Thank
it
you.
like resonated with so many people is, I think, because of the honesty of it.
Yeah, and also that's like it's crazy to me to think like how my music can impact people, and this is just a great example of it, and not just mine, but like music in general, right? And I'm just like a small piece in that whole situation. Like I was like thinking back to it, like I used to want to rap because I wanted to be cool. Like I know that now. Like I wanted people to like me. Like I
Mhm.
loved music and stuff, but like I wanted to be a rap because like I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be cool, like
Sure.
center of attention and not be kind of like a joke. Cause I was like kind of like that in middle school when I was doing music. But now it's like I'm at the point where it's like I could care less about that. I would rather my music instead of just a million people hear it, I want like at least like 10 people to listen to it and get something from it. You know,
Mhm.
like that sort of thing. It's like seeing the DMs I get about how it impacted like people's lives and stuff. That means so much more to me than even the numbers do. Like it's crazy. Like that's the reason why. Like now I know I'm at a point where I know like I write music for me. Like I make music
Mhm.
for myself because I like it. This is my thing. I need it. Like I need air to breathe. Right. But I release music for other people. And
Mm.
I know that like when I put out a song, I don't listen to it again. I listen to it so much, like it's out. Okay, cool. I only listen to my own unreleased stuff when I listen to myself. And that just kind of shows me like I release it and it's somebody else's, right? And they get what they get from it. And it's kind of like a trade-off. And I think it's crazy the way that like I feel like a superhero sometimes, right? Just because it's like I can make people feel a certain way just from the words that I say. And it's
No, for sure. It's
yeah,
amazing though. I mean, if you listen to the song, it's like, wow, like everyone has those moments. Like you listen to the song, it's like, okay, like this. I would say majority of people have had those feelings, right? Like
right,
you're
right.
like the way that you do is so creative and clever, but it's like, oh, that's why it hits so with people, because it's like, oh, I've felt like that before. Like this,
Right.
you know, this person is telling my story right now as I listen.
And it's wild because when I wrote the song, I wasn't thinking about anybody but me. And
Right.
that's right. And then but then seeing how like other people can relate to it just shows me like they're like, I'm glad I like they tell me like, oh, they're glad that they're not alone. They don't feel alone when they listen to the song. It's like someone else. I'm like, when you tell me stuff like this, I don't feel alone. Like it's crazy. It's like, what about like even me? I'm like, damn, I was just doing this because I was writing about my own stuff. But like seeing everybody else is like, yo, I go through this. I'm like, wow, I'm not weird. Like honestly, seeing the reactions to the song when I put it out was one of the things that like helped me get out of that funk. Right. Like
Mhm.
I was like, dude, it made me feel like low key stronger because like I don't know, like I felt like that that came as a result of me letting other people like put me through so much stuff, throughout my whole life because I felt like my whole self worth was determined upon like what other people said and thought about
Mhm.
me, right? Which I mean, even then, like me wanting to make music because I wanted to be cool, right?
Right.
Like there's like a whole like realization I had to go through, and it's sick that like other people. Well, it's not great that other people are experiencing this type of negative emotion, but it's cool that I'm not alone, right?
Right.
So
And it's cool that they have somebody to, you know, like relate to, like, oh my gosh, like he's going through the same thing as me. And maybe they're a fan of your previous TikTok videos or your previous things that you're in. They're like, oh my God. And also he also deals with this. Like
yeah,
it's cool to have, be able to relate with people like that. And that's what I think pulls people closer, especially with TikTok. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about, when it comes to like mental health or whatever, like these people will get like they'll get on TikTok and talk about their like problems that they're having, and then other people like, oh my gosh, like I also have those problems, like
right.
I'm dealing with the same stuff. So it's like you're almost like it's a give and take with everyone else, like your fans essentially directly.
Yeah, 100%. That's like And that's cool that platforms like this are even though TikTok can get stressful and everything like that, you can see a lot of people and a lot of people can see you,
Mhm.
right?
And
Just
everyone
out of
has a
nowhere.
similar, I mean, essentially everyone's on an equal playing field with TikTok too, which I think is so crazy, right? I mean, if you're on
Mhm.
Instagram, I mean, it's, I guess if you have like reels or whatever, but like if you have 500,000 followers and I have 10 followers, like I'm 10, maybe 10 people will see mine and maybe a percentage of your followers will see your stuff. Like with TikTok, if it goes on that For You page, I mean, you have the same chance as everyone else.
100%. That's why that's like it's crazy. Like the idea of TikTok. Like again, like I have at first sometime I held some resentment toward it too, just because I'm like a lot of stuff because just like something that you post could just go viral out of nowhere, right? Something that you post that you put a lot of effort and time into, right, could do like nothing.
Right.
So it's like such a if you hold too much weight on that, right, you can resent it really easily.
Sure.
And but that still doesn't change the fact that like it's a crazy platform that does a lot for so many people and
Oh, I know. I think it's so
so
it's
many
made so
creatives.
many careers out of, songwriters and created such a it changed the music industry. I mean,
It changed it like
legitimately
crazy.
did. It's
Hmm.
nuts. And but the fact that I've actually had a lot of conversations with people that have had, big moments on TikTok or they have they are a TikTok influencer or whatever. And it's getting people to actually leave the app and go on to Spotify to stream the song.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a challenge people are falling into and having. But with your song, I mean, it had like 40,000 pre-saves. So people are obviously like the song enough to be like, I'm going to be listening to this when it comes out, no matter what. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
save it. Whereas some people are like, oh, like this is a cool viral moment on TikTok, but I don't know if I'm going to go like actually get out of this app and then try to find him on Spotify and then do this.
Hmm.
Like the fact that it's translating onto your streams is really incredible.
Yeah. That's crazy to me to think that too, just because I know like sometimes I'll be seeing stuff on TikTok and they're telling me to go other places. I'm like, no, I swipe. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Even if I like I could like the TikTok and stuff, but I'm still like, no, I want to watch TikTok right now, right? I
Right.
want
Yeah. I
to
don't want to have to open another app and then go find, it's just like adding another step and getting somebody to take the next step,
right.
leaving what they're doing or pre-saving something elsewhere, knowing that they're going to have to come back to it. Like that just, it's such a whole another level of, you know,
Yeah, it's incredible to me too. Like I didn't expect it. I'm gonna be honest. I've never had like one of my songs, like specifically like that I made, like go, I guess, viral like
mhm.
that. I think at least to the extent that it did. And so it's just like I don't know. I'm not taking that for granted though, because it doesn't mean like that happened once doesn't mean it's gonna happen every time, right? It kind of just raised the bar for me,
Mhm.
thinking like, oh, the next songs I have to put out have to be crazy. Like they gotta mean something, or they gotta make somebody feel a certain way. Like this has to fit, you
Mhm.
know.
Did that change how you're writing the next songs that you've been working on or not at all?
I want to say like no, like I really want to be like, yo, I write all my stuff just without TikTok in mind. But now it's like sometimes I'm thinking like, what is gonna be the moment that I would put on TikTok, right? Like
Mhm.
where would I? That's not it's not the priority, but it's always something I'm thinking about. Like for example, I hate her boyfriend's face. Originally, that song was at 81 beats per minute, but it just didn't fit into a minute long snippet, like just enough.
Oh,
And so I was like, "Oh, wow." So we went in and we had to warp all the audio and we had to change it to 82 beats per minute just so it would fit in a minute long
interesting.
clip, like from the beginning of the song to the end of the hook, because you need that whole twist in there. So I
Mhm.
literally changed the entire tempo and warped audio just so it would fit in like a TikTok clip.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, that's so stuff like that, like definitely I have to keep in mind now. Right.
Interesting. No, for sure. I mean, yeah, I didn't mean like you're gonna go try to chase that song and do the same thing again, but like, and you have to keep that in mind. Like, okay, I was vulnerable and I wrote the song and it resonated with people. Like, that's probably something now in the back of your mind. Like, okay, when I approach this next song, I need to kind of be as vulnerable as prior.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy because it's like, I mean, a lot of people like sad stuff, but I still have very vulnerable, like even I Hear a Boyfriend's Face sounds a little happy, especially at the post core, like the post and
Yeah, I think
everything.
that's
Like,
why it works so well,
yeah,
to be
I
honest.
guess so. And like I even played I played trumpet in that one too, which is kind of like a happier instrument the way I played it. And it's like
Yeah.
I it's hard for me to make like I only have like two songs I know that like sound sad that I've ever made, like not even out. That sound sad and they are sad. A lot of the
Mhm,
sad songs I have are like oppose the beat heavily. Like I have a
mhm.
song called Circus that I teased that's not out yet, but I don't know, hopefully it will be soon. And it's literally a song about, being feeling like you're a clown in a girl's circus because she's just playing with you, right?
I like that
Um,
idea.
yeah, and it's like, but the whole thing is so happy. It sounds like happy circus music, like, I take the dun 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 dun. I take that and I flip it, I make it diatonic, and that's the whole post. And like it's just like a chant, and it's like very pop, very, very like upbeat, but it's like so sad and true. So it's like it's vulnerable, but like whatever. At least it's like something you could dance to or like vibe
Right.
to, right?
Uh-huh. I
That's
love it,
usually the
man.
type of sad songs I make are like they're sad. Like the lyrics are so sad, but hey, whatever, you can still vibe to it.
Right, yeah, it's got some step in it, like, that's funny.
It's like me like not wanting to be sad. I think that's where everything comes from. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it, but like I don't want to feel sad. Like
Right.
I'll be sad, but I don't want to feel sad. And like the
I'm gonna be
music is really what
happy
makes me
telling
feel
you
it.
how sad I
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like
am.
I feel like it's like a whole like denial thing, which is why my music sounds like that a lot.
Well, dude, I love what you're doing. Are you just the plan to just continue to write songs and put them out as you are? Or are you going to work on like I know you put out like an EP before and in an album. Is that something that you want to do again?
Right. Yeah. I want to put out an album so bad, actually. It just has to be like the right time. You feel
Hmm.
me? I have so many songs I think it'll be crazy. Like I have the best songs I've ever written, like in my iCloud drive. You know what I mean? Just like sitting on my phone, just like nobody has heard them yet. I'm gonna start teasing a lot of them on TikTok and everything just to see, gauge the reaction. Like what are people gonna be able to get from this? Because I'm not them. Again, I wrote that for myself, right? So
Right.
um, but I guess it's sort of like I just have to test the waters with a lot of the stuff, so I know it's like the right time for
Hmm.
for the most part. I just wanted to make the greatest impact that it can. But up next actually is, which I'm about to announce today or tomorrow, right? Is a remix of "I Hate Her Boyfriend's Face," uh,
Oh,
featuring
cool.
featuring Mike Posner. So
Really?
yeah, that's crazy. He
Oh,
made a
wow.
TikTok a duet to it, and I'm like, we were able to secure it, and it's fun. Like it's just crazy to me. It blows my mind that he even pay attention to something like that.
Sure. That's so
So
rad. So there's a remix with Mike Posner in it coming out.
yep, yep. That's coming next, I think in a few weeks. And then after that, there'll be another single. Don't know what it is yet. I'm gonna let TikTok decide which one comes out next, right? But and then hopefully an EP slash album after that, full of all the rest of everything else that I'm like really passionate about. And we'll see where it
Awesome.
goes from there.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it, man. Well, thank you so much, Parker, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
100%, man. Thank you so much for having me on. Like it was just great to talk to you. You're
Yeah, this
a
has been
great guy to
awesome.
talk to.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I love what you're doing. I one more quick question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to say, make sure you're making music for the right reason, right? Because if you're doing that and your intentions are good, then like you're gonna get there. Like if you have that sort of like passion about it, that sort of motivation, and you like eat, sleep, and breathe music for the right reasons, it'll happen. And I know that's kind of sounds generic, but if you really think about what I just said, it's like for me, I made the most progress with my music, and the most stuff started happening when I started like really appreciating what I had already done, right? When I started appreciating the music and falling in love with that, and then appreciating the reactions that I got from people, not just because I wanted to be famous and everything like that. Like you got to really love what you do. Um, and if you really love something, you're gonna put the effort into it. So it's just like, be honest with yourself. I guess that would be my my advice. Because
I
I mean,
love it.
a lot of people give advice like, oh, make sure you post this, make sure you avoid this, but really it all comes down to like fundamentally like how much you love it.